You know the saying, airports don't sleep. And at 2:13 in the morning, Phoenix Sky Harbor is a perfect example. All bright lights and polished floors, a place that's always in motion. But on October 6th, 2017, that constant hum of activity was the backdrop for something truly chilling. And this is where we meet her, Elena Brooks. Security cameras show her just sitting quietly, looking like any other traveler waiting for a flight. But she was about to vanish from one of the most surveilled places you can possibly imagine. So who exactly was Elena? Well, on paper, she's the last person you'd expect to just disappear. 34 years old, a steady job as a compliance analyst. Her friends, her family, they all said the same thing. She was organized, reliable, responsible. This wasn't someone who just misses a flight. She was just taking a simple weekend trip to Seattle. Nothing out of the ordinary. And her journey started out completely, totally normal. She left her house, got on her flight to Phoenix, and landed with a layover of 2 hours and 40 minutes. And that window of time, what should have just been a boring wait at the gate, became the entire focus of this investigation. Because between the time she landed and the time her next flight was supposed to take off, Elena's trip took a turn. A dark, irreversible one. The question that stumped everyone was, what on earth happened inside that terminal? The first thing investigators did, naturally, was pull all the security tapes. They figured they could track her every move pretty easily. But what they found was strange, deeply unsettling. Elena was not acting like your typical passenger on a layover. For starters, her flight to Seattle was at gate B3, but she was never even seen there, not once. And she wasn't doing any of the usual things you do to kill time at an airport. No grabbing a coffee, no looking through magazines, nothing. Instead, the footage shows her walking up and down the same corridor 3 separate times, all while constantly checking her phone. It really didn't look like she was just waiting for a flight. It looked like she was anxious, waiting for someone. And this is where the case just hits a massive brick wall. Investigators checked every single possible way a person could leave that airport. Every public exit, the rideshare pickup zones, all the parking garage elevators, and Elena Brooks was on none of them. It was like she just vanished into thin air, right there inside the terminal. Then they got a break. At 9:18 p.m., nowhere near her actual departure gate, the camera catches Elena sitting down and talking to a man in a gray jacket. They talk for about 9 minutes, and then they both stand up and walk away together. This was the last time anyone saw Elena Brooks alive. And the camera showed exactly where they were headed, straight for a restricted, employee-only door. This wasn't a public area at all. It was a complete blind spot, a hidden network of service corridors and tunnels that travelers never see. Now, because that door requires a keycard, investigators could pull the electronic logs, and bingo. At 9:29 p.m., a card was swiped to open it, and the name tied to that card? Daniel Reyes, a baggage handler. All of a sudden, their mystery man had a name. Okay, let's rewind for just a second. Right after Elena landed, she made a phone call. It lasted 2 minutes and 11 seconds. At the time, the number was a total mystery, just another untraceable prepaid phone. But this one call, it would end up being the key to the entire case. Because when investigators dug into Daniel Reyes' phone records, they found it. The link. He had been communicating with that exact same prepaid number. This wasn't some random chance encounter in an airport. Their meeting was absolutely prearranged. So this is where digital forensics just cracks the whole case wide open. Investigators got access to Elena's cloud backup, and by doing that, they were able to pull conversations that she herself had deleted. They were about to read the messages that explained everything. The very first message they recovered confirmed their suspicions. The plan was laid out right there. Use that 2-hour and 40-minute layover in Phoenix as the perfect secret window to meet. The messages also started to reveal a motive. This wasn't personal. They were meeting to discuss a business opportunity, which immediately pointed investigators towards some kind of financial crime. And then the final piece of the puzzle, the most telling message of all, an insistence on secrecy. This proved it wasn't a legitimate business deal. This was something clandestine, something that had to be hidden away in the airport's back hallways. So at this point, the case against Daniel Reyes is this incredible web of both digital and physical proof. You've got the surveillance footage placing him with Elena, the keycard logs putting them both in a restricted area, the phone records confirming they were talking, and finally, the recovered messages, which revealed their entire plan. With absolutely nowhere left to hide, Daniel Reyes confessed. He admitted he was running a smuggling operation and thought Elena, with her background in finance, could help him. But their meeting, it turned into an argument. And that argument turned fatal.
Airports are places of constant transition, right? They're designed to move millions of us from one place to the next. But on that night, the system failed. One traveler walked into that terminal, and a digital trail was all that was left to explain why she never walked out.